Imagine a world where the shadows whisper secrets and the air is thick with mystery. This is the story of the serpent's shadow over paradise, in a garden long ago. But this was no ordinary creature. It was more than just a snake. Its whisper echoes still. A cosmic deceiver, one whose actions cast a long shadow, a shadow that touches our lives, even today. This ancient story matters deeply. This story is about a bond between humanity and God, a bond that was fractured. It tells of Satan's cunning deceit, a lie that changed everything, but it also speaks of hope, a great hope promised through Jesus, a path to mending what was broken, a journey from despair to light. This is a tale of cosmic significance. In this video, we will journey back to Eden. We will look closely at the serpent. What was its true identity? We will explore the fall, the aftermath of a fateful choice, how it changed humanity's destiny, and creation itself. Then we will see the promise, the redemptive role of Jesus Christ, his victory over the ancient foe. Let us begin this profound journey. The serpent in Genesis chapter 3. It was not simply an animal. The scriptures paint a different picture. This was a being of higher order, a divine entity perhaps, one filled with great cunning. It possessed an intelligence, far beyond that of earthly creatures. It was a key player, in a drama much larger than Eden. This serpent could speak. It engaged Eve in conversation. It twisted words with skill. It questioned God's own command. Did God really say? It asked. A subtle seed of doubt planted. This ability to reason, to argue, to manipulate truth itself. This points to something more than a mere reptile in the grass. Later scriptures help us understand. They identify this serpent. It is Satan, the adversary, the great dragon, the ancient serpent, the one called the devil. He is the father of lies. He chose a beautiful disguise, a creature of allure and charm, to mask his true dark intentions, a master of spiritual deception. The serpent approached Eve, not with force, but with subtlety. Its words were carefully chosen, designed to entice, to mislead. It began by questioning God's goodness, implying God was withholding something good. "You will not certainly die," it lied, a direct contradiction of God's word. This was a bold challenge, a direct assault on divine authority. The serpent then appealed to pride, to the desire for hidden knowledge. "Your eyes will be opened," it promised. "You will be like God, knowing good and evil." This was a tempting offer, the allure of power, of God-likeness. It played on human aspiration, the longing for something more, a dangerous forbidden path. It presented the forbidden fruit as something desirable, good for food, pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom. This multifaceted temptation. It clouded Eve's judgment. She saw the fruit, she listened, and the serpent's words took root. Adam and Eve made their choice. They ate the forbidden fruit, and in that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were indeed opened, but not to godlike wisdom. They saw their own nakedness. Shame entered their hearts. Innocence was lost forever. The pure harmony they knew was shattered in an instant. Their relationship with God was broken. They heard God walking in the garden, but instead of joy, they felt fear. They hid themselves from his presence. The one who was their friend now seemed like a threat. This separation was spiritual. A deep chasm had formed. Sin had entered the world, and with it, alienation from God. God confronted them. Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. Responsibility was shifted. Excuses were made. The unity between them fractured. No longer a perfect partnership, but now blame and accusation. This was the immediate aftermath, the bitter fruit of disobedience. Creation in chains, the cosmic reach of the curse. The curse was not confined. It did not stay within Eden's borders. It spread like a shadow over all of creation. The ground was cursed because of humanity, thorns and thistles it would produce. nature itself began to suffer. The harmony was broken everywhere. This was a profound disruption. A cosmic imbalance had occurred. The Apostle Paul speaks of this in his letter to the Romans. He writes that creation was subjected to futility, not by its own choice, but by the will of the one who subjected it. Creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. It groans as in the pains of childbirth, a powerful image of suffering and longing for redemption. This ongoing spiritual conflict affects everything we see. The beauty of the world remains, but it is tinged with decay, with struggle, with natural disasters. This is the consequence of sin. Humanity, as stewards of creation, dragged it down with them in the fall. The web of life was torn, and the earth felt the pain. The first gospel, hope's dawn, in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. Even in that moment of judgment, as curses were pronounced, a glimmer of hope appeared. A promise from God himself. It came in an unexpected place, within the curse on the serpent. This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, often called the proto-evangelium, meaning the first gospel, the first announcement of good news. God spoke to the serpent, to Satan, "I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers." This spoke of ongoing conflict, a battle between two forces, the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. But the promise did not end there. It pointed towards a future victory, a decisive, final triumph. "He will crush your head," God said, speaking of the woman's offspring, "and you will strike his heel." This is powerful imagery, a mortal wound to the serpent's head, signifying total defeat, while the offspring would suffer a wound, a strike to the heel, painful but not fatal. This hinted at a redeemer, one who would come to vanquish evil. This single verse is foundational. It frames the entire redemptive story. The divine reversal, Christ's perfect life and sacrifice. Centuries passed, and humanity struggled under sin's weight. The promise of Genesis chapter 3 verse 15 echoed, awaiting its fulfillment. Then, at the appointed time, Jesus Christ was born, the seed of the woman. He came to undo Adam's failure, to offer a path back to God. His life was a perfect contrast. Where Adam disobeyed, Jesus obeyed. He lived a sinless life in complete harmony with God's will. He resisted Satan's temptations, the same deceiver from Eden, who offered him power and glory. But Jesus stood firm. His obedience was crucial. It was the foundation for our redemption. He was the new Adam, the perfect man. The Apostle Paul explains this in Romans chapter 5. For just as through the disobedience of the one man, the many were made sinners, so also through the obedience of the one man, the many will be made righteous. Christ's perfect life qualified him to be the sacrifice. Cosmic triumph, the cross and resurrection's power. The crucifixion of Jesus seemed like a victory for darkness. Satan, the ancient serpent, appeared to win. The promised seed was struck. His heel was bruised, as foretold. But this was not the end. It was, in fact, the means to a far greater cosmic victory, a triumph that shook the foundations of Satan's dark kingdom. The Apostle Paul writes in Colossians chapter 2, verse 15, "And having disarmed the powers and authorities, he made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them by the cross." The cross was not a defeat. It was God's chosen instrument to disarm Satan's power, to cancel the record of debt that stood against us with its demands. Then came the resurrection. 3 days after his death, Jesus rose from the grave. This was the ultimate proof of his victory over sin and death. Death, the final enemy, introduced through Adam's sin, was conquered by Christ. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? The resurrection is our guarantee. From Eden lost to paradise regained. The story that began in Eden, with a serpent's deceptive whisper and humanity's tragic fall, it does not end in despair. It moves towards glorious restoration. God had a plan all along, a plan of redemption centered on His Son, Jesus Christ. His life, death, and resurrection secured the victory over Satan. We have seen the cosmic battle, from Eden's harmony shattered to the curse-corrupting creation. We saw hope's first light in the promise of a Redeemer. Jesus fulfilled that promise. He disarmed the ancient foe. He offers us a new beginning, a restored relationship with God. This is the heart of the gospel. The Bible's final chapters in the book of Revelation, they paint a picture of this future. A new heaven and a new earth where God dwells with His people. No more tears, no more death, no more sorrow, no more pain. The curse is finally undone. The tree of life is there. Paradise is not just regained, but perfected. This victory is offered to all. Through faith in Jesus Christ, we can move from the shadow of the fall into the light of His redemption. We can be part of that new creation, where God's harmony is fully restored. The serpent's scheme has failed. Christ's redemptive work stands forever. This victory is yours through faith in Jesus. Like and subscribe for more on Scripture's hidden depths.